Oh, I'm still alive. We've got this magnificent cloud formation and another one behind the trees you won't be able to see. This is the first cloud we've had in 4 months. I'll do a quick tour of the garden. Yeah, I'll see if I can get a better shot of it. So I've just had to abandon this garden. I'm working about 7 hours at night. You can see how dry and crisp everything is here. But the good news is, apart from that particular bed which looks terrible, I do have stuff alive. Chicory grows really, really well in dry, arid conditions. Note to self. Bok choy, not so much. But as you can see, I've kept all the cabbages alive. Sweet corn's doing alright. I planted a few things last night and they're going to be okay. Well, geez. That's such a welcome sight, I can't get over it. I do hope it rains something. Now I've been really good because I've been watering about 1/5 of my land every night, so a different 1/5 every night. So I get round it at least once a week and the soil underneath is not too bad. You know, I've got a few problems with, I don't know if you can see under there, it's just a fraction moist. But you're not going to get that anywhere else in France. Possibly Europe at the minute. Unless, of course, they've been doing what I've been doing and adapting and trying to do things slightly differently so that we can survive, basically. Oh, yeah, Olivier. So I planted some old courgettes that are just left over, and yeah, I think they'll be alright. I haven't really had to do too much of the old crush the caterpillar job this year because there seems to be a little red beetle that does it, but truth be told, it's so hot during the day that only the strongest survive. There's the little red beetle, whatever that is, and he seems to polish off the eggs. And then these others, you see, hold on, see, get a focus. The caterpillars have actually died on the plant because of the perpetual 35 degrees plus temperature. Sorry it keeps going out of focus, but I'm starting to pull in a couple of kilos of courgettes a day. I've been pulling in about 4 or 5 kilos of beans a day, which sounds a lot, but it takes forever to harvest and they're only €6 a kilo. But aubergines are loving it. Oh yes, mate, bring it on. Anyway, so the reason why I've been watering all night and keeping a base level of moisture on the land is if that cloud above us does actually break, it would chuck the water down with such ferocity that over this dry, parched soil, dead, everything's just brown, pretty much, crunch, crunch, crunch. It's just going to run off. But thankfully, not on my land, because I've actually been putting the hours in. We've got melons coming really nicely in there. Big gherkins, as I like to call them, doing really well in there. I've chucked in a load of other melons in there. That's CBD, so don't get too stressed. So we're doing okay. The voles have not been so much of a problem, ironically, this year, because it's too hot for them. They've had to bury down deep and there's not been as much stuff for them to eat. So despite the grass and everything, that's actually planted with stuff. The butternuts are loving it. It's a really nice big one, that. I've got about 40 of them. Strawberries, I'm pulling in about 2 or 3 kilos a day. So, you know, they're absolutely fantastic quality. I'm not making any money. Tourists are still stealing my shit. I lost about 165 euros, and thankfully now I've got a photo of a couple of kids doing it. But you know, modern society and all that, you can't trust no one. And you got everything, you just got to do yourself, basically. So, still lost all the Ariege, but I've got to be honest, a few of them are making stolons since this midnight watering operation has commenced. This is basically my Ariege. See, they've got loads of strawberries up there. I don't know if you can see. They're doing all right. We're doing all right. But I'm pulling in all these kind of stringless green French dwarf beans. Ariege Nanson fil. I got Ariege beurre, so butter beans, and then these beautiful violet ones as well. So there's a good harvest in here tonight. But I'm thinking I'm actually gonna, I've been watering everything with that all night. It's a job. But I'm thinking I might see if this rain comes and just perks these beans up a fraction, and then I might even be able to get an early night, as in actually sleep today rather than tomorrow. And that rain will just puff them up, give me obviously a bit more weight, make them a lot less sort of, I don't know if soggy is the word. You can hear the thunder in the background. So again, I don't really want to be up here harvesting when Zeus is pissed off, because he's as real as anything else. So those strawberries I really need to go through as well. Again, they've all got at least 6 or 7 on. This is all dead, so this is a waste of space. This one's pulling up. Anyway, so big news. Excuse me, it's 37 degrees. I've got 2 breeding female rabbits coming Sunday. So I'm busy sterilising the cages and getting everything ready for that. Got all the straw, got all the food. I don't know how I afford these things. But in about 6 months' time, I'll have a perpetual supply of rabbit. And then we're going to reuse the poulailler, the chicken house down there. I'm actually going to get some chickens because, you know, times are hard. But what I'm going to do is that whole back area there is officially now getting trimmed. A big barrier across the front here, all the way to the other side. It's literally 100 metres. And then winter, I've got to trim that back, trim all that junk, hedge lay at the back, and then I'm getting a male and a female cochon noir, as they call it. It's a black pig, because they're pretty tough and they don't mind living on the side of a mountain like that. Not bad for their feet, unlike a Gloucester old spot, which would be broken in days, I suspect. And then I'm going to be eating the sucklings every 8 weeks. I'll take one, and that'll keep me in food for the whole of the year, pretty much. So then I've got chicken, I've got rabbit, and I've got pig. I'll keep the back 2 legs for making prosciutto. So then I've got dry ham as well for winter, as well as preparing in case the freezer dies. So these were the beans that had string in them, but I planted a load of courgettes in there with a view to letting them turn into marrows, store them at home as big as I can, as tough as I can, so that I've got a ready supply of food for the pigs, and I know that I can keep a marrow until the end of April in my house, so at least I can offset some of the price of the croquette, the pig biscuits, which are just not as expensive as I thought, but although they are expensive if you're trying to make a business out of it. So like I say, I've got loads of amaranths coming up. So I haven't really been on making any videos, and I've been getting a bit down. But then I realised, you know, everyone's down at the minute, and sometimes there just needs to be a little bit of understanding, a little bit of forgiveness, a little bit of moving on. Just ignore the stupids and those that will never change, because what's the point? And just crack on. So I'm going to sign myself out of society as much as I can. That's so welcome. That's so welcome. Sign myself off society as much as possible. Complete autonomy as best I can. I mean, the bank is charging me like €75 a month for nothing. So I really have no power over it. It's even though I spent not a single euro last month, they still managed to find a way to charge me another 15. I don't want anything to do with them. I want to generate my own electricity as soon as possible. I mean, I only use a little bit just to keep the fridge and freezer on, really, keep the computer running, which is a very efficient thing. So, and then it's just bills. It's just rent and that, and a house insurance. I just want to sign off. I don't need to be part of this downfall of humanity. The ridiculous decisions that your leaders are making on your behalf, sucking up to all of these knobheads who have their finger on the price of everything. I just don't want to be part of it. I don't want to fuel the fire of our assured destruction. Because I got loads of courgettes. So anyway, it's about 10 minutes, I suppose, 12 minutes. So that's what's happening. Sod them all, let it burn. But at least I'll have loads of meat, loads of veg, loads of herbs, loads of fruit, and I can swap that for cheese when I never really eat it. And less needing to be part of this ridiculous, powerless system that everyone seems to be blinkered into following blindly, quite literally. You don't need to do it. These people don't need to have power over your existence. No matter what you believe, you're most likely only going to have one life at this particular time, right? So you might as well not waste it on making these arseholes rich. So there we go. Changed my thing from Samuel the Strawbologist to Samuel the Survivor, because that's all it is. Working at night is not easy. Your phone still rings during the day. You still got stuff to do. People invite you out at just, you know, for a soiree in the evening. You're like, well, I can't because I've got water. You've got to try and do the two. Shops are not open at night, so you've got to, when you do your big shop, you've got to go during the day. You know, if I need fuel, I've got to do that during the day. So I'm actually haven't slept more than an hour and a half straight for about 2 months now. And it's not easy. But yeah, Sodom. No one's helping me. I'm going to do it myself.